Hello, this reading may be for you if you have Cancer anywhere in your chart. We're starting with an oracle card. The video is going to speed up here in just a minute, and then I will be back for the full tarot read. Hi Cancer, welcome back. We're going to get started with this oracle card over here to get a vibe for the energy in this reading, and then we'll get into the details of the tarot. I'm going to start by reading from the book. This seems to have gone well so far. I really like it. So we've got the communication card, number 9. Notably, 9 is what? Hermit in the tarot. When I lived in my third floor apartment, one of my neighborhood crows would often come calling on my balcony in the morning. This was before we adopted our pup Layla, who took up chasing the crows away. There was one crow in particular that stood out that my daughter and I eventually named Brave One, because he or she would go right up to our sliding glass door and rap-a-tap-tap impatiently with its beak. This delightfully persistent bird was looking for a handout. Communication brings the message to speak up. State what you want. You may think those around you know your needs and desires, but that might not be the case. Now is the time to articulate your wishes. Communication asks that you get clear on what you want, so there will be no misunderstanding or confusion later. Although communication may point to a situation on an earthly level, it may also indicate that you need to be clearer with what you want when communicating with your spirit guides or higher self. Are you being too vague? Are you asking for what you want exactly? I like that. I like all of the cards in this. A lot of the readings here. So communication, making sure we're being clear about what we're communicating. If we're expecting someone to just read our minds or read our vibe, that might not be the best way to approach something. I know I'm guilty of that myself. So clear communication is kind of the energy for this read, and we do have a lot of wands here. We even have 8 of wands, which I usually associate with speed, like the swiftness that's here, but it's also a card of communication. So very much lined up in the energy of the oracle card here. In this lower part of the read, more of your advice and higher self component, we've got trust. So that lines up for me vibrationally in kind of what the spiritual advice or what the higher self really needs. So let's get into the details here. Starting over here, we've got the 5 of Wands reverse. And I'm really drawn to the symbols on this card. I usually overlook the symbols, but I'm really drawn to the symbol of the Leo on this card. So you may have Leo in your chart, particularly in the area of finances, or there may be some energy around you that's Leo energy that you've been in strife with over money, over finances, career, material things, material goods. Now this is a reversal, meaning there may be some sort of stall in this disagreement. It's not moving forward at all, or it's in the recent past possibly. Can I get clarification on the 5 of Wands reverse, please? We've got the Druidic of Wands. It's like your queen. Okay, strong wand energy, lots of potential, lots of fire. Also clarified by the Apprentice of Swords, more of a page energy, more of the mind, logic. Passion versus logic. Very youthful logic. This actually flipped over as well. 3 of Swords. Okay, so this battle may have been between someone very passionate, very creative, definitely in their authority, versus somebody who's more of a new to something and approaching something from more of a logical standpoint. It's causing a lot of hard feelings. This may be a parent and a child, something about finances. This may be around career work situation, kind of a boss and somebody that's reporting to that person. You could be either energy right now. Very much in this communication, though, a lot of times, really this strife, this heartbreak around this disagreement, this imbalance is likely the result of poor communication. And if whoever's the apprentice of swords, the childlike person, the new person here, they're trying to think of this logically because they don't have the experience that the Druidist has. And the Druidist is very passionate about how this is supposed to go. And it's really the responsibility is on the Druidist here to be the good communicator. It's not coming across clearly to whoever is in this apprentice energy, whether that's you or if you're the apprentice, you're just unclear because this person isn't communicating to you very well. If you're in the Druidist position, you need to check maybe go back and, try to speak to that person again and really explain what your wishes are more clearly. Yeah, we've got some other cards here just clarifying this energy. Sun in reverse, Magician reverse, Five of Cups. So there's definitely some hard feelings that remain in this situation that need to be cleared up with better communication. I don't actually see an serious impact to finance. There's not financial corruption or anything major here. This is very small, quick moving, transitory energy. This may be actively going or have recently occurred in the past and it really didn't come to a resolution. Three of Cups here, clarifying, yes, this is really going to be quickly and easily cleared up and you will come back together in harmoniously once the communication is cleared up. So I do think the responsibility is on the Druidess of Wands to be the clear communicator. If you're in the role of the apprentice, you could take the higher road and try to have that conversation with the person on the other side of this argument and just try to come at it very patiently because this person has a lot of passion and just, very innocently saying your piece, non-confrontationally, really just explaining, I think I need more clarity on this. I don't really understand everything I feel like I need to understand to fulfill your wishes. And if you could explain it to me more clearly or in a different way, that's really going to be helpful for me. If you approach it as an olive branch, I see the Druidess will receive that well. Again, whatever that conversation is that's happening, that communication, it does have a positive outcome here. So don't be afraid of that communication. Hard to say, right? Easier, I guess I should say, easier said than done to not be afraid, but I guess you can feel maybe confident that the outcome of that conversation will go well. Just approach it very carefully and patiently, like I said, like an olive branch sort of scenario. I mean, that should be whether you're the Druidess or the apprentice position, but I think the person in the learning position needs to be a little bit more careful, tread a little more lightly because the Druidess is very passionate. Okay, so we have, I want to really talk about this piece here. This is in your emotions, like something moving very quickly, but it's also a card of communication, and we have communication here. We're seeing that maybe there may be a challenge in the area of communication around work or finances, something to do with a possession, some material possession. Now, the example that I gave earlier about a boss or a parent and a child, those are just examples of the energy. There could be many, many examples of a scenario like that, where you have someone a little bit more passionate, holding maybe a little bit more power than someone who's thinking about something in a very different way, maybe a little less passionate, but more logical and less experienced, right? So I just gave those as examples of that energy, that dynamic. It could be many things. It could be, in an agreement over a contract of some type, the sale of a car, buying a home. It could be many different things around possessions, finances, money, career. So lots of different scenarios there, but just get a feel for that energy that I was conveying. And in this area, we're talking about your relationships or your emotions. So there's some fast communication coming in. We've got this Two of Cups here in reverse, talking about, some sort of difficulty in a partnership of some type. Apprentice of Wands. This is more of that passionate, creative energy, but in that novice way. Very novel way. Lots of passion. I'm getting a lot of artistic, creative, esoteric energy from this Apprentice of Wands. And we have another Druidess. Oh, look at this. Interesting. An apprentice and a Druidess, and an apprentice and a Druidess. The Druidess is the Druidess of Cups here. This may be the same dynamic, where we've got the same energy here, right? We've got someone who's a little younger, potentially, or less experienced, if it's not age, and an energy of someone, it's a feminine energy in both cases, someone who's definitely more experienced, in more of an authority role, so in a higher position. So similar dynamic, kind of a parent-child dynamic, boss, direct report sort of dynamic. Someone's holding more power here as well in this area of emotions. And the challenge is in the area of communication again. This could be the same thing. It's an interesting theme to have in two different areas of life if it's with variety of different people. Again, this results Six of Cups. It's got a good ending. It has a very good ending. I've got other cards coming out here, Empress and Four of Swords in reverse. Yep, I think my recommendation here is the same. I do believe that for what's happening in both of these areas, I think that the chances are very high. This is the same dynamic between two people, and it's an emotional experience, and it's something that's in your emotional realm as well. Like whatever's happening here in this financial career area is carrying over. It's not something you're just closing the door on it and then living your life and forgetting about it. Like it's something you're ruminating about. It's really bothering you, and it's impacting you emotionally. Yeah. That is certainly. So communication. Okay, but we've got Death over here, which is very good. That's some sort of transformation, kind of the action that you need to take. So I'm going to assume, we'll get some clarifying cards, but I'm going to assume that the action is what we've already been talking about here. Now, I'm not even telling you the same thing over again. We'd already talked about, making sure you're reaching out and being a communicator, regardless of which energy you are in this reading, whether you're the apprentice or the druidess. Obviously, there's a learning to have regardless of which energy you are. If you're the druidess, maybe you need to kind of take a step back, realize you're dealing with somebody who's in a newer energy, has a little less experienced than you, and you need to improve your communication. If they don't know what you know, then they are certainly not going to do it the way that you are doing it. In the reverse, the apprentice energies, same thing. Tread that a little carefully, pull back on the passion, and approach it with kind of an olive branch situation. And, this is, in both cases, we've got 3 and 6 of cups. So the outcome of this communication is going to go very well. And that's, I think, the transformation that you're having is being brave enough to have that conversation. Yeah. We've got the 8 of stones here, clarifying. So you're definitely of the energy of somebody who's very skilled and very talented, whether you're the apprentice or the druidess. You've got a particular skill set, a particular talent, and having this conversation is going to be a very important conversation, actually. It's very transformative in that area. Whether you're the apprentice, it could be opening up doors for you to really grow in that talent or skill that you have. If you're in that druidess energy, I see this as something where you're really developing and evolving more into that authoritative role. You may be not seeing yourself as the druidess just yet, but that ability to recognize and have that communication may be the final transformation for you to unlock a new skill for yourself. And that is in the talent of improving communication and leadership. 7 of stones here with the 8 of stones. So certainly this transformation, again, I'm not going to repeat the status of the apprentice or the druidess, but definitely talented, definitely planting your seeds. So making investments in yourself. This communication is making an investment in yourself towards your future. Any other clarification? We've got the Ace of Wands. A new potential, a new passionate beginning, a new creative beginning. So Death to Ace, 8 of Wands, definitely. This communication is critical for you to make this change. It's a milestone moment for you. Very evolutionary. And I think because it goes so well, it's going to teach you a lot about yourself and about communicating, having difficult conversations. I feel that this is a lesson in having difficult conversations. We've got the 3 of Cups here in reverse. This is in your mental space, and I think this is all along the same theme. You're feeling a little bit blocked in your ability to feel abundant. You may not be thinking very clearly right now, and it's as a result of whatever this disruption that's going on over here is really impacting lots of areas of your life. Now, it could be that the disruption is an emotional one. It's a personal relationship, and it's impacting finances, right? It doesn't have to start with finances because this is the first position of the read. It could be that this is a personal relationship. There's some sort of emotional disruption, emotional battle, and it's impacting finances. The action remains the same regardless. The challenge that you're having in that emotional, mental area is the same regardless. You are feeling a little blocked in that area, having a hard time thinking straight because you can't get past this emotional component of it. And you're being advised to see this from a new light, take a journey, move on from this. Any other clarification? Any other clarification? Getting too many cards. I just need one card for clarification. Well, that was definitely it. We have the Lovers card. Okay, yes. So recall that we had, I think, the 2 of Cups here in reverse. Yes. So for some of you, this partnership that's having some disagreement is a romantic partnership. It could be, again, a parent and child partnership. It could be any type of partnership for sure, but the moving on, having this conversation is the moving on card, is the taking a journey, and the Lovers coming back together is the resolution. It's repeating the same thing. So same problem, it's impacting you pervasively in various areas of your life, and that's Very, very common. How often do we have a fight with somebody and it's like you can't think clearly and you're not doing well at work, or, especially if it's been ongoing for some time, it seems like it's stalled out. And this needs to come to resolution. I don't think there's been a resolution. And once that resolution is made, then you'll be moving on in a very, very positive way. I think it's actually bringing you together. You're going to be closer out of this difficult conversation than you were before. Any other information on the Three of Wands and the Lovers? We just got the Hanged Man in reverse. So the Hanged Man is about seeing things from a new perspective. In reverse, the Hanged Man can be some stalled energy. So it's just confirming what we've already seen. Let's move on to the bottom here. We have this crystal cave, this energy of trust in your spirit and advice area. So what your spirit is needing right now is the Seven of Wands in reverse energy, which is kind of putting down this idea that you're in the middle of a battle. It needs you to move on from this battle, not be involved or engaged in it anymore. And it's not saying that you started the battle, you're responsible for it, but your spirit needs you to take this very mature step forward and end this battle. This Druid of Stones is mirrored by the presence of the bear in this card. They're both very large and steady and ironically very calm. Look at how calm that bear is. So this is a lot of power, and this is bringing their heart as their abundance, right? So this is the what your spirit needs right now. Nine of Cups, a wish fulfillment. Six of Stones. So a give and take of the abundance, a balance, and victory in that balance. So whatever you've been engaged in, whatever battle that's just consuming your mind, that you're really ruminating on a lot, it's easily resolved with a communication. That communication may be coming in towards you already, and if not, you need to take that action to have that conversation. Everything from your soul to your work, to your emotions, to your mind is telling you this needs to be something that is resolved so that you can move on to the next season. There's no need for this to consume you. The advice cards, we have the Chariot, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have Justice. So moving swiftly towards this resolution in a balanced way. Chariot and Justice on either side of this Seven of Swords is really, really emphasizing the need for balance and justice in this situation and not using trickery. So I think this is advising. Now, there are other cards that came out here. We'll take a look at those, but I have them hidden for now. I believe that when we're sandwiched between this powerful major arcana energy of balance and boundaries and clarity of mind, justice, taking action towards what is the correct thing to do, with the Seven of Swords in the middle, which is kind of some trickery. So I think that in this communication, there may have been some deception going on. Somebody may have been cutting corners. Somebody may be overstepping boundaries in some way. There may be some sort of trickery, sleight of hand. Part of that difficult conversation is somebody has not been honest or has not been approaching this in a very good manner. Yeah, we have abandoned success and the World card. Okay, this is telling me if you acknowledge this. So this needs to be acknowledged. You can't just walk away from whatever this difficulty is here. Can't turn your back on it and expect to receive the world. The way that this is coming to a conclusion is that, again, that difficult conversation is had and it's being addressed. Any other clarification in the area of advice? This speaks to the trust that needs to happen here, that you'll have the outcome that is being supported by Spirit right now. It takes some bravery. Tower. This conversation is going to feel like a tower moment. It may be a tower moment, but it will bring you to a new beginning. Wow. I think that this is bigger than the vibe I've been getting, to be honest, but it's so pervasive throughout your reading. I think for some of you, if this resonates, you know exactly what this is and exactly how big this feels for you. So, wow. Okay, rip that off like a Band-Aid, Cancer, and you've got a whole lot of positive new beginnings. This is a fresh start for you.